So I'm Shiva. This is my first day training on Python programming. So after I started publishing the integration training, have started getting more requests on doing some Python training. So I'm not a great YouTuber, still a learner here. I'm just trying to help. I know there's plenty of videos available for Python, so it's up to your convenience if you like my style of teaching or if it's going to help you. I'm very glad. So let's start. So today my main focus will be having you started with Python programming. Let me go through a little bit of history here. Python has been there for like almost like 40 years now, even though it always we feel like it is new, it is something new. No, it's not really new. It is been around for a while now. So Python 2 has been released in 2000, like 20 years after the initial Python has been on the world. So Python 3, which is our latest used in currently, has been released in 2008. So that's about 12 years after Python 3 has been released. Still in internet, if you go and find, you'll still find some help for Python 2. You have to make sure when you copy paste some information and try in your interpreter, make sure it is Python 2 versus Python 3, because when you install it currently, your Python is going to be Python 3, right? So first I wanted to start with some of the tools that you need to get your environment set up. So currently, even if you're having Mac or Windows, you will be mostly having Python 2 pre-installed. In sometimes in some images in Windows you don't have Python 2, but in Mac you always have Python 2. But in order to have Python 3, you need to go and get it from python.org. So, but for students and beginners, the easy way for me to, I'll recommend to start is have Anaconda. So Anaconda is an environment where you have all the library and collection for Python. It is actually an open source free tool that you can download and install it. So I'm going to just click this link. So if you go here, when you go to your individual edition, you can download based on your version. If it is Mac or Windows, you can download it 64-bit. So 3.8 is our latest version, right? So once you install Anaconda, if you're Mac or Windows, let me open my Anaconda Navigator. You will have something like a green icon. It is opening. I have some multiple screens here. Just publishing one of it. So it takes some time to load and for the window to come up. So that's first thing. This is once you have Anaconda, you already have your Python and everything pre-installed with the latest version and everything, right? I also have put here, you can pause a little bit and note down these links. This is python.org. This is a free documentation available. Python being a very, very powerful tool. The very good thing on Python is it's free. So many of us like it more, and also it is more effective and quick, and it has more libraries that we can use. So this is Anaconda. If you see, so in my system, I have all these environments. So I have a base environment and I have a Python data environment, right? So mostly I'll be working with you on the Python data environment. So let me also show you how to create your environment and all those things. So just going to move it to the other screen for now. Then another thing is in order to do some coding, if you want to develop some web app or anything in Python, you can use any IDE. There are several IDEs. Most commonly recommended is PyCharm. Another one is atom.io. I have been using different IDEs for different kind of programming. If I want to write some OS related, more OS related interventional program, I will use PyCharm. and if I'm going to do something with Django web framework, I'll be using atom.io. And for class time collaboration, if I'm in with other students, I'll be using like VS Code. Yeah. So there are several IDs available. So this one is the top two I recommend. I think all the IDs are free. The other one, let me see, Visual Studio Code. Yeah, this is another one. This is a good one too. This is also free as well, right? So these are some of the IDs I recommend. I'll tell these are the tools like IDEs, right? And also, if you're using Windows, I would recommend you to download something called Commander. It is like a command based. Instead of running in your command prompt, you can run any code that you're running in Windows in Commander. You have to go to commander.net and download Commander and just extract it and run the exe. You'll have like a terminal. It's a kind of my first preference tool for many Windows users, right? So that's one thing. So you can pause the video and have it installed and come back to the class. So today I'm just going to talk about very basic stuff. So I'm opening my terminal here. So once you install Anaconda, I always start with terminal instead of starting a GUI based one. So go into documents. I'll make a directory Python. I'll go to this folder, Python. So here I'm actually in the base environment as soon as I log in. So when you install this Anaconda, you will have something called Conda here. If you type Conda, you will have all these different stuffs come by. So first thing you do is you actually create an environment. Conda create, I'll tell what environment I can tell. Python 2020. Okay, I think I typed the wrong command. Always I do that. I keep forgetting the syntax. Create name Python 2020. Okay, I'm just going to copy paste this before I forget the command again. So first thing is this one, right? Conda create Python 2020. It will ask why. And say why. Okay, now. Okay, I created the environment. Now I have to go into the environment. What I do is I say Conda activate Python 2020. Do that. Now I am in Python 2020 environment. Right? So I will have already some base libraries installed, which is the first ones that we normally need for Python. So before we go into the environment, let's see a little bit taste of the Python. So I'm going to close the terminal, or I say new window. Okay. I'm going to say Python here. So once I say Python, right now I'm in the Python environment. So let me go and say what I can do in Python. The first thing in any language you will learn is about variables, right? And operation and basic stuffs that we can do. So today we will see those things. I'll say 2 plus 3, 5. Okay, so all these mathematical operations, you can basically use Python as calculator here, right? So if I wanted to just do a square root 2, 8, if I put 2 asterisks, right? So any mathematical operation, this is first thing. Now I say A equal to 5, B equal to 5, and A into B is 25, right? So this is kind of things, first thing to talk. So basically, my learning, I would recommend to use this Python library here, like python.org. This is free library. So this is the best way to go instead of following anything that I'm going to give custom. So first I'll go here and I'll say um, tutorial, and I'll say okay, a informal introduction to Python. So like we saw here, because they are using the Python as calculator. When you go to the Python prompt, you basically use these commands that you wanted to try. As soon as you have your conda installed, before even you activate your environment, if you go and type all these things you can do for practice. I actually typed this link also here for a reference notes for you to practice up once you have your environment done. So now I'm going to exit from this. You can do this on your own better than I do here. So conda activate. I'm going to say Python 2020. So what is special here if everything is in the prompt, right? There are something special here. When I go to this Anaconda, I'm going to bring up my Anaconda. Here you see Python 2020, our environment which we newly created, it's already here. When you click here, it takes some time to load. You will see all the libraries which are already installed. It's going to take time to load. So, and also the Anaconda comes with so many other tools here. So it has basic stuffs. So if I wanted to install anything, I can select and install it from here, right? So either I can select here, click and install. Basically, first, when you're newly learning this tool, I don't want you to use this GUI more. If you go here home, you have so many things. See VS Code, everything that comes with Anaconda itself, Jupyter and all those things. So instead of using this GUI, use this like a map. For now, let's get familiarized in using this command prompt, right? I go and type Jupyter. Okay, let me go to my folder that I created first. I saw documents and I created projects and I say training and I say ls and I say Python, right? These are my integration training videos. Let me go to my Python folder and I say Jupyter notebook, right? Oh, it's not. Probably I have some syntax here. Okay. I don't have Jupyter Notebook in this environment, so I have to install the Jupyter Notebook, which is here. Install. So if I go to my other environments, it will be already installed. So I'm just going to install my Jupyter Notebook. It's going to take some time. I thought I have everything ready for you to show. Like if I go to my different environment, everything will be already there. So I won't be facing the stuff what you will be facing once you install the Anaconda. So this is also good. So when we get error, I think it is always good. That means we are going to learn more, which is what we want. So it's installing. So while this is installing, I'm going to show you some more stuff right here. Usually in Python, the famous command I like and I use more is called pip install, right? So pip install pandas. Pandas is a powerful library. I don't think anybody who knows Python cannot know panda, right? It's kind of packed and packaged, right? Bread and butter. So I go and install pandas here. This is the first library I would want you to have. Pandas. Oh, it says it's already there. Okay, it just now downloaded everything. Okay, I have NumPy and pandas. Now, what else I can install? Okay, I'm going to put Okay, let's go and do one by one. Right now I have Python and Pandas. So now I have my Jupyter notebook install finished the other screen. So now I'll go and open the notebook. Okay, it works better. It's doing something here. And now automatically it will open a browser and it will go to my folder. It says slash because the folder what I created in my Finder, if I show you, in my documents, my projects, training, in the new folder what I created Python, I don't have anything here. I'll put some new folder. I'll put class 1. And I say data, right? Something like this. Right? So now let me, okay, class 1 folder thing, data. So now what I'm going to do is new Python 3. Okay, this is more fancier than my terminal, right? So let me see, 2 plus 3, and I say run 5. See, this is more better than I'm running in. So, the another thing is for Jupyter Notebook, I would also recommend you can use directly these buttons right here. You can also like find out what are the shortcut keys that we have that we can use to run. Those can be very handy. So I'll say 2 star 3, say run 2 star star 5. This is like the square, like 2 into 2 into 2, 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 to 2. That's what that does. So Python is pretty fancy and quick, right? So this is like Untitled Calculator, right? So basic functions, with the one I showed you here, all those things you can try pretty much. If you say, if you want to just type a string, it will just, oh, I didn't copy it correct, spam is going to type this. So now what will it happen, what it will happen when I just type this? Not defined. Okay, now let me define spam equal to 5, and now I'll say spam. I'll get the value in the spam. Now I type spam, say, right? So when you put anything within the quotes, it will actually treat it as a string. If you don't use the quotes, it will look for the variable, like it will treat it as a variable and it will look what is in there, right? This is one thing. Basic in many language. Some of you who are new to programming, you still can learn Python. That's one easy language to learn. It's more English-like and more calculatory-like. You don't need to do so many things. Why I'm putting equal to, why I'm putting star sign. You can do these calculations without an equal to symbol. Some basic stuff, right? So this is called Jupyter Notebook, right? It's one thing that I will say it's a gift from Python library. It's more easy to, and more helpful to learn Python. I'm just going to close and halt. Now let me open a new notebook. I'm just going to do some stuff here. I'm going to import pandas as speed. Right? I'll run. The very first time I'm loading pandas, it's taking a little bit of time. Okay, now it's done. So what I'm going to do with pandas, inside the data, I'm going to put a new text file. Okay, and I say sample text, and I say name, age, gender, score, pass. Okay, and I will say Asha, age 23, gender female, score is 99, pass, yes. Okay, and I say Mickey, age 33, male, score is 95, pass, yes. Let me say why I'm not failing anybody. Who can I fail? Peppa Pig. I'll say Peppa. I like Peppa Pig too. How can I fail him? It's okay. Somebody has to fail, right? I'll put 50. No, right? So I have 3 variables now. Now I'm becoming lazy. Okay. Donald, male, 60, no. And I'll say Linda, female, 33, no. Let's put 65. Okay. So what is the pass mark? Pass mark is 70, okay? No more 35. So let me go here. Some other name, Danny, male, 27. I'll say pass, yes, right? Another pass, yes. Let me put 70. This guy is just pass. What can we put his name as? I am not getting any names. We put Delta. Okay, here we go. I'm going to save this file. Enough, I took time to create a data file here. And okay, here, data analysis. So I want to read this file, right? So this is in the data folder. So we are in the class folder. If you have known a little bit about programming, if you already know about folder references, you will know how we represent current folder versus next folder. I'm just going to talk about a little bit. So in DOS or Windows or in any other operating system, dot is meant to represent current folder, right? And if you put double dot, it represents, I don't know how to insert a table here. Insert a table. Can I insert a table? Okay, dot is meant for current folder. Double dot is meant for parent folder in any operating system level, right? This is operating system level information, right? And if you are using Windows, you will have C colon or D colon, and you will tell C colon slash, and you will tell Agus slash, and you tell Roblox and say data, and I have my sample. So this, when you type any file in this way, you tell this is like a full path of the file, right? Complete reference of the file path, right? Oops, okay. And then, for example, I am inside this Agus folder, okay? And now I want to do referential file path. Instead of complete path, I want to use referential file path. So how do I do referential file path? I'll just put dot slash Roblox slash data slash sample.txt, right? So another thing, we have to talk about file separator, right? In Windows, we use file separator as backslash. But if you go to your browser screen where you're browsing, you will mostly see your file separator as a forward slash, right? So the same if you go to any other operating system like Mac or Linux or any other thing like Ubuntu or anything, you mostly see the file separators as forward slash, right? So when you go to your Python Jupyter notebook, I go to my data analysis folder and I go here. Now I wanted to read the file, right? So I'll put input file path. I say equal to, I go forward slash dot slash. So I want you to understand like what we are doing, where we are doing and all, right? Most of the time, people who want to learn Python, they don't know what they're doing. Hey, the file didn't come. I don't know how to go to the file, right? That's why I wanted to mention this. Using referential file path and knowing how to use that, it's first basic thing for anybody new to programming, right? So if you are already aware of all these things, this can be boring for you, but it's going to be useful for more people, right? So I already have this open here. File path slash, here I go here to my slash data folder. This is where I am. So I want to go to slash data folder and you have to use this sample.txt, right? And say data sample.txt. So this is my file path. I'm going to assign this file path in this variable name, right? And say yes. So now, another important thing I want you to say is, so Windows is not case sensitive. That means if you want to type a variable, August, this is same like this one, right? But in Linux or Mac or any other language like Python, it is case sensitive, right? So you can't like these are two different variables, completely two different variables. So for this sample text, if I have my file as small sample, I have to use small sample, right? So now we have another command, read CSV. Where did this come from? You have to go to this pandas library and you will learn more about this read CSV. But believe me, it's just from memory I'm using this for some reason. Okay, this is open and close bracket. Another cool thing in Jupyter Notebook is once you are here, if you type Shift Tab, you will get like help here. You see what all I can use here. Okay, I have all these things. Cool. I can actually directly type the path here. If I type the path as it is, I can put CSV. You can actually put your actual file path right here to read this, and it's a good practice always to put separator. By default, when you use read CSV, it will assume the files field separator is comma, but it is a good practice to always put this, right? So see, all my data is here. So when you want to give this file to someone who don't know much of pandas, we'll give them the minimal confusion effort. So we'll tell them just put the file name in this one, right? We don't ask them to put anywhere else. So they just they will be only changing this place. So this command won't get changed, right? So this is pandas data frame. You call this is actually a data frame in pandas. So basically I'm going to assign this in a variable called df, which is a data frame. And now I can say df.head, which will list first 5 values here. And I say df.count. And I say here, look. So this now, there's so many things we can do. df.group by gender, right? So basically it groups by gender. I'll put like him, df equal to group by gender. Now I put MDF. Kind of forgot this comment. Gender. Okay, fine. Now I group by gender.com. Now if I go gender, let me just say count for a specific thing. Actually gender. That's what I want count for. Let's see. Now it says female is 2, male is 5. Right? This is cool. Another cool thing in Python, I have one more library. I'm not sure if it is available here called matplotlib dot py plot as plt, right? So once I import this one, I can say plt dot py, and I'm going to just copy this whole page, paste my plt.py, which is from my matplotlib library, and I'm just going to run this, right? You get a super cool pie graph in one command, right? It's a number of males versus females, right? So this is one thing. You can also do a pie plot based on pass. I'll say pass, and I'll say pass. Let's see what's going on here. So number of people's passed, right? So actually there are a lot of commands you can see. Just go through a little bit on pandas, data frames, right? And what all the commands you can do, and then you can go through a little bit on matplotlib, right? So thank you guys. So we'll see you soon in next class. Sorry, this class ran over like more than 30 minutes. My goal is to keep less than that. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys.